Konnichiwa and welcome back to Chron Reviews. It's time for yet another dinosaur review from the Dino Rivals line by Mattel from Jurassic World, and this time it's the Dual Attack Concavenator. And this dinosaur was actually in the movie. Yes, it was. It's open for debate if it was a real one stuffed or a statue, but it was displayed in the Lockwood Manor. But there are hints that they actually were stuffed dinosaurs. And that's awesome, because that means that Hammond and Lockwood did some cloning before Jurassic Park and before they fell apart with species that we don't even know of yet. And that's cool to me. And this is one of them I'm looking most forward to in the new lines. It's not exactly new anymore, but for me it's new because, you know, the only store in Sweden, BR Toys, was bankrupt, and it was the only stores that took in Jurassic World, and that meant that I couldn't get them in Sweden anymore. So since Christmas I've been totally dry on Jurassic toys. There's another store chain though that have got some of those, like the Monolophosaurus and T-Rex I talked about in the recent review, that they got on the online store. So hopefully they will start to stock the Jurassic World stuff. Only time will tell. So let's go straight into this, and the package is gorgeous, just like Styracosaurus. I like this new layout with the red, all this, it really burns, it looks flaming on the shelves. It's very easy to spot compared to the more grey, metallic colors of the standard line before the Dino Rivals took over. I guess that was a change in the brand naming for the toys since the movie isn't in theaters anymore. So the first release wave was the old packaging, and this one is the new line to keep the lines rolling. And it shows here what you can do with it. Pressing one button for bite and the other one for tail swap. I will get more into that later, and why I'm a little bit disappointed at the second action feature. It will be I will explain. And there's of course the Dino Rivals logo, T-Rex, Trike, Owen. And on the back you can also see what it can do, as well as that you can have the Jurassic Facts app, and it also have a stat card just like the Styracosaurus. And it shows others in the Dual Attack line, the Parasaurolophus and the green Triceratops there. And Dual Attack line is the middle-sized ones. The Savage Strike is the small ones, Dual Attack is the middle ones, and the Mega Dual Attack is the larger ones like the Stegosaurus and the Suchomimus. And here it is, the Concavenator opened up from the package. And I must say I really like this figure. It's nice, and it's one of those I've been looking forward to most, just like I said in the beginning. And the color is slightly different from the movie one. As far as I know, the movie counterpart were slightly more brown and lighter, but I think it had a tint of this color. But I can't tell for sure because it's very hard to make out if this one is very close or very far apart. But as far as I recall, it actually did have some red on the top and a brighter underbelly, and some more yellowish striping here like those. I can't say I'm right and I can't say I'm wrong. I'm just going by memory here, and I think it's close enough. But I could be totally wrong. But the overall look and design, however, I think they went by the movie design, because I think the snout was quite short like this one and stuff like that. So before going into any action features or paint job in detail, here is the Jurassic Facts app for the Concavenator. And here is the stat card. And I think it's quite cool, just like Styracosaurus. This one has more strength and a lot more speed and a lot more brains, and also slightly more HP or stamina, or whatever you want to call it, the endurance down there. Some nice and simple artwork, but it's a nice collector card. I give them that. So action features is you push this button for the bite. This is standard for a carnivore, but you would expect from a carnivore to slash, right? But this one attacks with a tail. It was same for the whole first wave of action, dual action attack carnivores and herbivores. Everyone attacks with a tail. And while it's a neat idea for herbivores, what would be needed is when you do this, it should slash. I mean, even Hasbro have that. And before I go into too much complaints over that, newer carnivores in this line that Mattel have released actually does use the claws. So I guess they have heard the critics and listened, because I think the new Battle at Big Rock Allosaurus that came out slashes with the claws. And there's also the new version of Blue, the Savage Strike version, slicing with the claws. So I think they had to rethink just copy-pasting the herbivore functions. But I wish that this one had the claw attack as well, because it would be a lot more fitting for a carnivore. Maybe not a Carnotaurus, because the Carnotaurus have so small arms. They could have the tail on the Carno. Or a dual movement, like one bite action and the other one was that the headbutted with the horns. That would be awesome with a Carnotaurus. But it's just good that they learn. So except for this, the actions are totally fine. And the articulation is the usual. You can move the legs outward slightly, and they click into some positions. And the arms are ball jointed. And as far as the paint job goes, it's quite clean. The color around the eye is slightly metallic actually. The eye itself are even a little bit metallic. And it have a few colors going on. There are this bright side here, there's the red there, and some other red here, and some of the bright color here. The toe claws are painted, and the eyes are nicely painted yellow. And there is a pinkish inside of the mouth. And it's a pretty sturdy figure. And it's a typical mid-sized carnivore. So if we size it up, we have Owen and we have Kenner Alan Grant. And if we go by as far as I've seen from the fossil record, this one is actually closer to correct size with Kenner, because Concavenators are not that big. They are mid-sized carnivore on the lower edge. So the snout should be about where the head is on a human. But it's Jurassic, so bigger is always better, right? So both of them works nicely. They are, as I said, a very typical mid-sized carnivore, which fits with the Roarvore lines. And here's the Baryonyx. They are about the same height. Damn. Yeah, they are about the same height and body mass. So that adds up pretty well. And there we have Blue as well. And also there's the action attack Carnotaurus, which is a little bit bigger. So it's the size of the dual action, the mega dual attack have the same size as the Carnotaurus. And this is the mid-sized, which is the Roarvore-sized dinosaurs in the dual attack line. So to sum this up, I actually really like this one. The colors works nicely, and the sculpture is good. It reminds me very much of the one in the movie. and the action features, I love the bite action, but they could have replaced this with the slashing. But I hope they lived and learned from the feedback they got on this first release of Dual Action Attack. And I hope you enjoyed the review, so until next time, take care and sayonara!